Donald Trump's statements are all over the map. He said about everything you can imagine. But there are some things on which he's very consistent, very consistent. One of them is that he wants to drive the world to disaster as quickly as possible. And literally, that is not an exaggeration. And it's a remarkable comment on the media in the United States and internationally that they do not comment on this. It's an astonishing fact. His positions, one of the major crises that we face, everyone should be completely aware of this, is the threat of environmental catastrophe. I barely mentioned it, and that's just the beginning. His position is very clear. Climate change is not happening. We should increase the use of fossil fuels, including coal, the most destructive. We should eliminate environmental regulations and eliminate the agency that's responsible for them. We should abandon the Paris negotiations, COP21, which are just coming into effect, which are insufficient, but at least provide some kind of a basis for hope. We should withdraw from that. We should refuse to give any aid to poor countries, say like Bangladesh, that are trying somehow to move to sustainable energy. And in general, we should race to the precipice as quickly as possible. That's his core program. And it's not just Donald Trump. It's the entire Republican Party. If you followed the primaries, you would have noticed that every single candidate either denies that climate change is happening or says maybe it is, but we shouldn't do anything about it. In other words, major political party and the world's richest and most powerful country, the most powerful in history, which is sure to set its stamp on future history, immediate history, that party is calling explicitly for destruction of the species, virtual destruction of the species. More astonishing than that is the fact that there's no comment on it. Try to find comment on this amazing fact. Virtually nothing. That's one of his policies. The domestic policies on which he's pretty consistent are radically reducing taxes on the rich and the powerful, on the corporate sector and the wealthy, increasing the military already way beyond, about as great as the rest of the world combined, much more technologically advanced, and adding no new sources of revenue, so you can figure out the domestic consequences. On another issue, his position is more hopeful for human survival than Clinton's. He is calling for reducing tensions with Russia and marginally China, which is a very serious matter. The tensions at the Russian border, notice the Russian border, not the Mexican border. The tensions at the Russian border are severe, mounting. Both sides are carrying out provocative actions which could explode by accident even into a terminal nuclear war. Both sides are building up their military forces. NATO forces are carrying out exercises a couple hundred meters from the Russian border. Jet planes are buzzing each other. It's an extremely dangerous situation. A lot of it traceable back to decisions in 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed, which we should be thinking about seriously. There were two visions of the world presented at the time. One was Mikhail Gorbachev's, what he called a common European home, a integrated security system throughout all of Europe and European Asia, with no military blocs and integration. That was abandoned. The West insisted on something different: collapse of the Soviet Union, expansion of NATO, at first to East Germany, then right to the Russian border, offers to Ukraine to join NATO, a severe threat to Russia, just in simple geopolitical terms. Russia's carrying out its own repressive and violent actions. All of this is building up, and Trump, to his credit, is saying, let's try to say something, to do something to dampen this down instead of intensifying it. So I think those are the kinds of things we can anticipate, although the idea of somebody like Trump in control of the option of initiating a nuclear war, which is literally terminal for everyone, that's very frightening to security analysts across the spectrum, which is why almost all of them are very frightened of his possible presidency.